and welcome to the 10th session of English Communication. Today, we will be taking a look at time management and stress management. Let us start by taking a quick look at what time management is. Time management is the process of planning and controlling the time spent on specific activities. Good time management enables an individual to complete more in a shorter period of time. It lowers stress and leads to success. The ability to manage your time effectively is important. Good time management leads to improved efficiency, productivity, less stress, and more success in life. Here are a few benefits of time management. First and foremost, stress relief. Making and following a task schedule reduces anxiety. As you check off items on your to-do list, you can see that you're making tangible progress. This helps you avoid feeling stressed out about whether you're getting things done or not. Second benefit, more time. Good time management can give you extra time to spend in your daily life. People who can time manage effectively enjoy having more time to spend on hobbies or other personal pursuits. Third, more opportunities. Managing time well leads to more opportunities and less time wasted on trivial activities. Good time management skills are key qualities that employers also look for. The ability to prioritize and schedule work is extremely desirable for any organization. Fourth, ability to realize goals. Individuals who practice good time management are able to better achieve goals and objectives and in a shorter length of time. Here are a few tips for effective time management. We will take a look at them in detail. First of all, set goals correctly. Set goals that are achievable and measurable. Use the SMART method. In essence, make sure your goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. In short, ensure that they're SMART. Prioritize wisely. Prioritize your tasks based on importance and urgency. For example, look at your daily tasks and determine which are A, important and urgent. These should be done right away. B, important but not urgent. Decide when you want to do these tasks. C, urgent but not important. Delegate these if possible. And finally, D, not urgent and not important. Set these aside to do at a later point in time. Third point, set a time limit to complete a task. Setting time constraints for completing tasks helps you to be more focused and efficient. Make the extra effort of deciding how much time you need to allot for each task. This can also help you recognize potential problems before they crop up, and you can make plans to deal with them. For example, assume that you need to write up 5 reports. However, you realize that you only have enough time to get 4 of them done. If you become aware of this problem well in advance, you may easily be able to delegate writing one of these reports to somebody else. But if you haven't bothered to do a time check beforehand, you might realize that it will be difficult to accomplish this task in its entirety. So be careful and plan ahead. Take a break between tasks. When doing a lot of tasks without a break, it is harder to stay focused and motivated. Allow yourself some downtime between tasks to clear your head and refresh yourself. You can either grab a brief nap, go for a short walk, or meditate. Organize yourself. Utilize your calendar for better long-term time management. Write down the deadlines for projects or for tasks that are part of completing the overall project. Think about which days might be best to dedicate to specific tasks. Remove non-essential tasks or activities. This is an important step because removing these frees up more of your time that you can focus on doing genuinely important things. Plan ahead. Make sure that you start every day with a clear plan. You need to know what needs to be accomplished on that particular day. Consider making it a habit to, at the end of each workday, plan your to-do list for the next workday. That way, you can hit the ground running from early in the morning. We are all aware of the consequences of poor time management. Let's take a look at a few of them. First of all, poor workflow. The inability to plan ahead and stick to goals means poor efficiency. For example, if there are several important tasks for you to complete, an effective plan would be to complete the related tasks together or sequentially in an order. However, if you don't plan ahead, you could end up having to jump back and forth or backtrack in doing your work. This would translate to reduced efficiency and lower productivity. The second consequence is of wasted time. Poor time management will make you waste your time. For example, if you engage yourself by chatting with your friends on social media while doing an assignment, you're distracting yourself and, of course, wasting time. The third consequence is loss of control. By not knowing what the next task is, you suffer from loss of control in your life. This can attribute to high stress levels as well as anxiety. Another consequence is poor quality of work. Poor time management will make the quality of your work suffer. For example, having to rush to complete tasks at the last minute usually compromises quality. Fifth consequence, poor reputation. If you cannot be relied upon to complete tasks in a timely manner, expectations and perceptions of you are adversely affected. If a client cannot rely on you to get something done on time, they will likely take their business elsewhere. Now let's take a quick look at typical time wasters. Time wasters are things that cause you to spend a lot of time in doing something that is unnecessary and does not give you any benefit. Here are 6 of them. First and foremost, one that most of us are probably guilty of, social media distraction. Now, social media activity isn't limited to just following each other on social platforms. You also spend time, hours actually, in uploading new posts, photographs, commenting, conversing, or simply scrolling your feed. And unless your work involves social media management, you don't have to waste endless hours on social accounts, especially during work hours. When your attention gets diverted while working on an important task, it will be harder for you to regain that train of thought, which leads to more time wastage. Now, how can you avoid this? The best way to overcome social media distraction is to set aside a specific time during the day in which you can log into your accounts. It could be when you're taking a short break or after hours. Second, constantly checking your email. You may not realize this, but checking your inbox is a huge waste of time. Some mails are important, but the majority of them are not. Whenever you check your email constantly, you're diverting attention from whatever else you were doing. And even when you eventually get back to that task later, it will take you time to get back in the right frame of mind and to be at your productive best. Now, how can you avoid wasting time? First of all, remember the subject line of the email already tells you whether it is an essential one or not. Dedicate a certain amount of time every day to address your emails, but not longer than 30 minutes. By giving yourself this deadline, you're going to force yourself to focus only on really important things. And additionally, this tip really works. Try and unsubscribe from anything which is not immediately valuable to reduce your inbox clutter. The third is lack of prioritization. This ends up in a huge waste of time. Your to-do list can have several tasks that need your attention. However, if you don't prioritize the right tasks, you could end up wasting precious time. Prioritization is an essentiality. Let's put it like that, right? Now, how can you prioritize? There are various ways of doing so. You can categorize your tasks into different quadrants based on their importance and urgency. You can also make a list of, say, the 3 most important tasks you need to complete during the day. If you finish them, you can focus on the less important tasks. Most importantly, make it a habit to sit down and plan ahead, be it for the next day or for the entire week. Jot down what tasks you have to do. You can even break them down to make it easier. This way, you can hit the ground running and accomplish a lot more. The fourth is procrastination. We all have tasks that we either find too difficult to tackle or simply just don't want to do. An average person, like you or I, will keep postponing the task until it becomes undeniably urgent. And as we all know, postponing anything doesn't really help. In fact, it can end up making you demotivated and lead you to reduced productivity. Now, how can you avoid procrastination? Instead of postponing the task, try and get it done right then. Now, this will depend on how urgent and important the task is. Here are a few tips that can help you avoid procrastination. First, set a simple, achievable goal and commit to it. Second, create a schedule and set specific times for completing each task. Third, take breaks in between tasks to relax and refresh your mind. Fourth, try completing the most difficult tasks during your most productive hours. Fifth, break down large tasks into smaller sub-tasks. This will help. And finally, minimize any non-work distraction to help you focus on the task at hand. The fifth point is unproductive meetings. Holding a meeting just to explain tasks or share project updates are simply huge time wasters. Not only are you wasting your own time, but you also are wasting the time of other attendees. Besides, scheduling meetings also takes up a lot of time. You need to invite attendees, send out reminders, and even deal with technical issues along the way. Additionally, if there is no clear takeaway from the meeting, attendees might feel uninterested. This could lower their productivity post-meeting. As a rule of thumb, meetings with no or unclear goals, timeframes, or takeaways are just massive time wasters. Now, how can we avoid unnecessary meetings? If you're confused about whether a meeting should be held or not, just ask yourself the following question. Can the information I have be conveyed over a text message, email, or phone call? If the answer is yes, then there's no need for scheduling a meeting. Another important tip is to set a clear agenda and a time limit. Whether it's a virtual team bonding session, a project planning meeting, or something to discuss that needs to be done, everything should have and follow a specific agenda. This will help people be on time, be present, and eventually plan the rest of their day. The sixth and the last waste of time is what we call water cooler conversations. These are conversations between employees that are usually spent in discussing things which are non-work related. These discussions can go on for a long time, which dramatically reduces valuable work time. I mean, casual discussions in free time, both are necessary for improving team bonding and work relationships. However, this should not adversely impact the amount of work done, and therefore these should be avoided. We move on now to the second part of our lecture today, and that is stress management. Stress management refers to a wide spectrum of techniques and psychotherapies aimed at controlling a person's level of stress, especially chronic stress, usually for the purpose of and for the motive of improving everyday functioning. Now, there are several factors responsible for stress. These can be triggered by any of the below. First of all, lots of pressure. Second, facing big changes. Third, worrying about something. Fourth, not having much or any control over the outcome of a situation. Fifth, having responsibilities that you're finding overwhelming. Sixth, not having enough time to focus on work, activities, or change. And finally, times of uncertainty. All of these can be seen as triggers for stress. Now, let's take a quick look at certain stress management tips. Now, these days, it's hard not to get overwhelmed once in a while. Between juggling work, family matters, and other commitments, you can become too stressed out and busy. But you need to set time aside to unwind, or your mental and physical health will both suffer. Learning how to manage your stress takes practice, but you can learn and you need to know how to do it. Here are 8 tips on how to manage stress. First and foremost, exercise. Exercising regularly is one of the best ways to relax your body and mind. A workout of 30 minutes of moderately intense exercise like brisk walking, swimming, jogging, or any other sport is recommended. Focus on setting fitness goals you can meet so that you don't give up. And most of all, remember that doing any exercise is better than doing none at all. Second, learn to relax your muscles. When you're stressed, your muscles will get tensed up, especially the ones in your neck and upper shoulders. You can help loosen them up on your own and refresh your body by stretching, taking a hot bath or a shower, and getting a good night's sleep. The third tip is deep breathing. Stopping and taking a few deep breaths can take the pressure off of you immediately. You'll be surprised how much better you feel once you get good at it. Just follow these 5 simple steps. Sit in a comfortable position with your hands in your lap and your feet on the floor. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself to be in a relaxing space. It could be a beach, a beautiful field of grass, or anywhere that gives you a peaceful feeling. Slowly take deep breaths. Concentrate on inhaling and exhaling. Do this for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Step number 4, eat well. Following a regular, well-balanced diet will help you feel much better in general. It will also help you control your moods. Your meals should be full of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and protein for energy. Do not skip any meal. It's not good for you and can put you in a bad mood, which can actually increase your stress. Tip number 5, slow down. Modern life is busy, and sometimes we just need to slow down and take a break. Look at your life and find small ways in which you can do that. For example, set your watch 5 to 10 minutes ahead. That way, you will get to places a little early and avoid the stress of being late. Secondly, when you're driving, try and avoid road rage. We are surrounded by bad drivers, but is it worth losing your cool over? Think it out. Break down bigger jobs into smaller ones. For example, don't try to answer 100 emails all at once if you have them. Focus on a few and break the task down. Point number 6, take a break. You need to plan on some real downtime to give your mind time off from stress. If you're a person who likes to set goals, this may be hard for you to do at first, but stick with it and you look forward to these moments. Restful things that you can do include meditation, yoga, prayer, listening to your favorite music, spending time in nature, or maybe reading. Make time for hobbies. You need to set aside time every day for things that you enjoy. Try doing this and it will help you relieve your stress. It could be just 15 to 20 minutes, but it's important. Relaxing hobbies can include things like reading, knitting, doing an art project, playing a game, watching a movie, doing puzzles, or board games. And finally, and most importantly, share. Talk about your problems. If things are bothering you, talking about them can help lower your stress. Talk to your family members, friends, doctor, or maybe a therapist. And you can also talk to yourself. This is a method called self-talk, and we all really do it. But in order for self-talk to help reduce stress, you need to make sure it's positive and not negative. So listen closely to what you're thinking or saying when you're stressed out. If you're giving yourself a negative message, change it to a positive one. For example, don't tell yourself, I can't do this. Tell yourself instead, I can do this, or I'm doing the best that I can. I hope these 8 steps genuinely help you manage your stress. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next class. Have a good day.